Hello people, Jay here, and welcome back to a Minecraft video, except this will probably not be the first Minecraft video. It's the first one that I'm recording, but Teddy will already have one up on the channel by the time this uploads. Anyway, today I'm going to be showing you useful techniques you can use for building organic structures like trees in Minecraft and building wooden structures like these houses and things like that. So we're going to start right off, dive in with an oak tree. Now, this tree isn't particularly great. It's the kind of tree you'd see beside the water because it leans over quite a bit. But the key thing when you're building a tree like this is you kind of have to make sure you have a staple base like this kind of thing, and then you go up kind of like this, slowly, like adding more and more, and then making sure the shape looks natural. Because if the shape doesn't look natural, then obviously the tree doesn't look natural. And then you've got a weird, unnatural, artificial looking tree. These trees have got to look, obviously they are artificial, but they've got to look natural if they're going to look good after you've constructed them. So that's pretty good chunk there. And then of course, building the leaves. I'm going to do like a flat area first. Now they're just very straight up. Normally I elaborate a lot more, but to be honest, I kind of just wanted to get this video over. So yeah, to start off with, when you're building the leaf, you've got to kind of do this kind of thing first, and then you can go around the edge and add little details, droopy bits in the middle. Do this kind of thing, add more droopy bits. You got to add some more, and you don't have to add in like loads of droopy bits because that sometimes doesn't look good. Make sure you have enough that it looks authentic. Okay, so that's the oak tree. Really, you've got, and then you just top more shape and form. I sound like an art teacher. There we go. So that's the kind of thing you've got to do for an oak tree. Moving on from the oak tree, we come to your average kind of rustic house here. So what this is, it's a couple of interesting building techniques like framing here. Make sure you move the wall back so that it's not flat. If it's flat, it's like less for you to look at. But if you've got details like moving the wall back and having these stairs in here to make it look like the house is worn down, it gives it a lot more things to look at. And stairs above the door, I found that this is a good technique because then you've got this kind of little alcove here. And yeah, and here you've got beams made out of fence gates. And along here we've got some small window boxes, and we've got these fences going along here, which again, framing and makes the house more to look at, more interesting to the eye. Over to the side we've got another window, more of these, and these stairs makes it look like there's little notches in the wall, so it makes the house look run down, I guess you could say, so that it's, as I say, it's more interesting for the eyes to look at. Then up here, normally without this would be, this would be kind of, it's kind of a bit boring, but then you add this in, and it fills it up a lot more. It's more interesting to look at. You can see here I've laid out the block palette, and putting this at the bottom again allows it something more interesting to look at. And over here, this is an interesting build technique. What this is, it's an archway made from some hoppers and a cauldron. You can see the kind of arch shape there. And then here we've got one of those classic oak trees. And okay, so moving on to the birch tree. This is kind of like your average willow tree. Like, it's a bit like this one, but it's more slanted at the bottom, then it goes straight up, and this kind of tree has way more droopy leaves. And you can see the shape, it's more flat at the bottom, more bulky at the bottom, and it gets thinner as it goes up, which is normally the case for most trees. And then you see I've actually forgot to do this over here, I've put normal trees next to the artificial ones, and you can see which one looks way more authentic. And you know, I would have built a forest with these, but I don't have World Edit because I'm in Pocket Edition, so yeah. And this is the kind of birch rustic house. It's not as great. Doesn't even have a door. It's got similar technique with the dark oak fences here. Got the roof with the weird symbol thing. And this house actually has no windows, which makes it feel more open. But that does mean that you can just jump straight through the windows, and it's also not very mob-proof either. And back here we've got lots of detailing because, as I say, if it was just a flat wall, it wouldn't be very interesting to look at. But adding in stairs like this makes it a lot more interesting to the eye. And then, as you can see, I've laid out the block palette up front here as well with some birch log, and again we've got framing here. Makes it look like this house has been built, and these stairs also making it more interesting. Now over here we've got the dark oak tree, which has a wider leaf canopy and it goes more straight up. So this one has to be a bit more knobbly because, you know, trees have lots of like knots and things. This one has to be a bit more knobbly to represent that. This is the normal dark oak tree. I've tried to create like this kind of shape. This kind of shape here. I've tried to create it up here. And then we've got the droopy leaves. I really like doing these droopy leaves. I don't know why. And then we've got the normal tree over here. And then I didn't actually do anything for dark oak because there's not really much interesting to do, but I decided to include an example of a willow tree. I built this little pond here, and this is inspiration from the Songs of War Minecraft movie. I will link it in the description. It's really good, you should go check it out. And this is the kind of thing that you see in the Ardoni provinces in that movie. This kind of lake with the sugarcane. And what I've actually done here is I've put string on top of the sugarcane so that it doesn't grow. So that it stays like this, although this won't really grow anyway. And you can see I've made this little rocky outcrops, used mossy cobblestone, like plant life and stairs and things. And then we've got this droopy willow tree hanging over it. Really adds to the effect, makes it more interesting to look at. So yeah, I think that this is probably one of my favourite things out of everything that I've built along here. I really like this. Although really, all it is just spamming the break button all over the floor and then filling it in with stone, cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, all that kind of thing. And here we've got the block palette. There's actually quite a few blocks in here for something that simple. And I really should have put some andesite in. But looking at this, these little bits of cobblestone make it more interesting to look at, and the sugarcane gives it a bit more of a splice of colour from the grey. And then over here we've got the jungle tree. Now, jungle trees are quite tall, so I've tried to encapsulate that, and it's not as slanted. It is a bit slanted, which I didn't really mean to do, but it goes more straight up and it gets thicker at the top where all the leaves are. And I've built this little house around it. This is Good Times with Scar inspired. So then we go in here and we've got this. I haven't actually done anything in it because we've got the massive trunk. But this is like a little hut with detailing to make it more for the eyes to look at, and indentations in the walls again. And lanterns, as with every single building all along here. This is the like normal jungle tree. I didn't put a massive one here because the massive one goes up to like all the way up here, and that will make this one look pitiful. Oh, and another technique. This is also Good Times with Scar inspired, so thank you for that, Scar. This is putting bamboo in the top of the tree. This only really works with bigger trees, so this isn't as great, but it makes it look like there's little green shoots sticking out the top of the tree. And then, of course, we've got the classic jungle vines. You can actually put string on these to stop them from growing down if you want to. And then, last but not least, we have the Acacia tree, which is a lot more thin and spindly than thicker at the top. So I've tried to recreate that. It's actually only one block in some places, but it looks quite spindly compared to all the other trees. They're all quite thick and strong and all that kind of thing. And then this is the normal acacia tree, so you see it's got a big flat area on top. I haven't really managed to create that, but it's a good place to build a tree house like I used to do with acacia trees all the time. And this is the building I've constructed to represent acacia. Now, personally, this is probably one of my favourites. It's not as good as this one. I prefer that one more. But this one is the acacia building, and I've done the same thing with the... But instead of putting like a slab thing here, I've put this window with these cobblestone walls around it. I think that looks quite nice. It doesn't look as good as a circular window. But yeah, I think it gives it more to look at. And then you've got lanterns hanging on the floor, and I don't really know why this was necessary, but. And then round the back, we've just got large open wall here with a couple of cobblestone walls and indents to fill it in. Over here we have this circular window. I love circular windows in Minecraft. I really don't know why, but I think this looks really nice. Then over here we've got the glass and the cobblestone walls going up here, like framing the glass. I think we have that around this side as well. Yes, we do. And then I've built this kind of garden thing here with an acacia tree, as you can see. And then you go in here, and this is a greenhouse. And greenhouses are one of the good places where you can put bricks on the bottom, and then you can put in some detailing, like these stone walls. This doesn't look as great because it's quite small, but I still think it looks quite nice. This is the kind of authentic farm you could create. And under each of these slabs is some water. These are waterlogged slabs. So it, like, fertilizes the ground around here, and you get all the wheat. And then you've got these dead bushes, which represent dead plants, and again, they make it more to look at. And then, so that this isn't just glass, I've used trapdoors and stairs to make it look like there's like a frame, and then you've got the glass underneath. So yeah, that's kind of it really. This is my first build technique video involving wood. The next one is probably going to be to do with interior, because as you can see, I haven't actually done anything for the interiors. They're pretty empty and kind of sad, so the next video will be to do with interiors, and I will leave the comments on this video so that you can give me suggestions for what kind of interiors I should give you, like dining rooms or anything of that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's really everything for this video. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, slap the bell, do all the YouTube randomness. And yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.